Hey friends, Leslie from A Friend to Knit With. Welcome to episode 41. Today is July 20th and it is a beautiful July day. It's a Thursday afternoon and I just want to sit outside even in the heat and knit. Honestly, the heat never deters me from knitting. I used to like to needlepoint in the summer and knit in the winter. That was about 20 years ago, I think. Yep. But now I just like to knit even in the summer, all year long. So if you love to knit as much as I love to knit, then you're in the right spot because this is a channel mostly about knitting. I do sprinkle in a few other things, but usually I just get right down to the knitting. I have not been here since the end of May. I did quite a bit of traveling the last couple months, I guess, yes. But I've been home for 2 weeks. It feels pretty good. But I'll tell you some of the traveling because I bought some yarn and some of the spots along the way. But yeah, that sort of prohibited me from getting here. I only ever had like a few days in between trips and it just was enough to unpack and repack. So anyhow, I will get right down to the knitting. I have a few finished objects in the last 2 months to share. And then I have a couple things on my needles that I am really loving and some future plans of things I'd like to knit. So hopefully you guys are having a great summer knitting away. And hopefully you're working on something that you love right now as well. Okay, so I am wearing the mini mock neck tank by Jessie made, and I actually love this tank. I used the trio yarn from Lamb and Kid, and I must say that was one of my trips, not to just Lamb and Kid, but I was fortunate enough to stop into Lamb and Kid. But we went out to the Pacific Northwest and we went to Orcas Island, up in the San Juan Islands. If you don't know it, it's very far north, north of Victoria, and I believe it's also north of Vancouver, Rosemary, is it? But very close. It's very, very west and north in the United States. And we came back through and went to the Hood Canal, and then we're flying home, and we made the last day a Bainbridge Island day where I was so excited to meet some of the kids from Lamb and Kid and pick out some yarns, and this trio was top on my list. It is so yummy. There's a little bit of cashmere and nylon and merino. So it would be perfect for socks, but it's also perfect for a sweater, which these four will hopefully become a sweater together. I absolutely adore those hues. I think that's like right up my alley. So I'd love to make a sweater with those. But this is what the trio is, what I'm wearing from Lamb and Kid. There you go. And it's very hefty on the yardage, 450 yards, and yeah, 100 grams. So I think that I have enough for a sweater here for sure. And one skein did make a mini mock tank, but I wish I would have had more just because I'm pretty long-waisted, and I think that I would have liked to have added some length to this. I did try to block it pretty aggressively, but ended up, still quite short. And I used every little piece except this, which this could have helped, but I kind of was just ready to start something new. But it is pretty short. I have a pretty high-waisted dress that looks so pretty just over the top of the dress, which maybe I'll put in one of my videos soon. But it looks great with high-waisted jeans. But if you're long-waisted, you would need 2 skeins, I think, of this. This is a small, so the extra small and the small, you can maybe get away with 1 skein. other than that, I think it would take 2 skeins. And Marilisa from Girl Meets Yarn, she has been just killing it with her podcast lately. I love watching her, but she focuses now, I feel like, don't hold me, accountable, Marilisa, but I think she's just kind of deep diving into the one pattern that she has worked on and really going over that. So she did make a mini mock neck tank out of a linen and a cotton, or just cotton, for the summer. So she has some thoughts on, making a summer knit with some cashmere and some merino, some nylon. And she's pretty right on. But where I live in my climate, it's totally fine to wear this alone, or like I said, I have it layered today and can do that over a sundress, whatever. I guess it just depends on the climate, but you could do it in this. And I think she might try it again in a cotton. So if you're interested in that, you can follow along on her journey from the mini mock tank. But I love it. So what I ended up doing was stopping partway in my body and because I wanted to make sure I had enough for the neck ribbing. And so I did the neck ribbing, and then I continued on, and I was just going to knit to the very end, and I'd have this much left. So Jackie from Caddy Jack's Knits has made several of them. I don't know, 3, 4, 5. She's made quite a few, and she also made it in this colorway, Cafe, and it is just this. I want to knit, I am knitting a chocolate brown sweater, I will show you, but I just am crushing on brown these days. I just can't get enough of brown in my wardrobe. There was a time, I guess, I don't know, I work in a clothing boutique, and I've worked there for, 13 years, and for a while we haven't had any brown. Now we are getting brown in for the fall, so there will be more brown available. So that will be a good thing, and for those brown lovers, it's coming. I know, I think black substituted it for a while, but anyhow, yes. And this brown, isn't that a yummy brown? It's just pure deliciousness, as I say. So anyhow, this is the mini mock neck tank. This was my latest finished knit. Now we can backtrack a little bit. Oops, I forgot my Esmeralda. I'll have to pause it in a minute. But my Esmeralda was first. And then the Corran Cardigan by CREABEA Knits, Rebecca. And this is it. And I love this. I haven't worn it or done anything with it because if you follow along on Instagram, I asked your thoughts on buttons. So I had this antique button from my grandmother. I have all her buttons. And then I had another one that was clear. That didn't get any votes. And then I had another one that was a darker brown. No, can't remember the other one. That didn't get very many votes either. But this was the winner. So I was all on board. And then when I tried this on, I felt like it would be better as a duster, sort of like short duster, but a open cardigan instead of buttoning it. I decided I probably wouldn't button it. Mostly because it's long, and I just, since my jeans, things are a little higher waisted right now, I just don't think I would ever button it. I put it on with some dresses, and it just, where the waist hit, I didn't like it. If this was cropped, I would have liked that, but this is a little longer. Now, I haven't shown photos or anything of this yet on Instagram or Ravelry, but I certainly will get to that. I did make some modifications. Oh, I will get to that after I'm going to close up these buttonholes. I did the bottom one already. I closed that one up. they're pretty easy, but I guess I just haven't taken the time. I have my yarn here. I used Onling. This was a perfect marriage to the pattern. It only took 3 balls for my size, which I think I knit the second size up. So this is the Onling number 1, and it is woolen Angora, 75% super fine wool and 25% Angora. And I have it in a couple of other colors. I'm thinking about doing, so there's a new recipe out for the in and out, did you call it the pullover or the jumper? But it is a simple turtleneck. I will link everything below because now I am blanking on it, and I will also put her name here and her podcast because I think you would really like her podcast as well. She is so kind and gentle, and she has sort of a style that I really like in her sweaters, and simple turtleneck sweaters are something I want to add to my wardrobe this winter. And she has, it's a recipe, she calls it, not the pattern, because you have to do some work beforehand as far as measuring yourself, and then you can find, and doing your gauge, because you can use any yarn, and then you can find the measurement that works best for you and then follow along with that. But does require some work beforehand. But the greatest thing is you can use any of your yarn you have. So I have these 2 colors. I was thinking about striping it. I think that would just make a nice soft striped sweater. But anyhow, this is what I used for the Corran Cardigan, CREABEA, and it's, and I loved the mesh. I thought mesh was having a moment this summer. I absolutely love it. And the pattern was very simple to follow. The only other modification I made, besides now closing up the buttonholes and making it just an open cardigan, would be I added length to the sleeve. So she just has a little capped, or she has a long sleeve, and I just wanted it to hit me like right here where this shirt hits me, like the end of the top part of my arm. So that fit the bill there. So that's the only thing. But this yarn is really lovely. I feel like I could wear this in the summer or the winter. And yeah, I highly recommend this. I think this would be really nice in a cotton right now. I had some cotton. Anyhow, I wanted to use this yarn. And so I thought it worked out perfectly. And I'm excited to use it again for something in the fall. Okay, so those are those 2 off of my needles, and I have to run and get Miss Esmeralda, a knit by Katrine Hannibal. That is just a simple pullover with a little extra something with the garter ridges. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I forgot that I already started the camera, and then I took a drink of my water. Remember, PSA, go drink some water. Yes, it's important in the summer. Anyhow, before I head to my Esmeralda, I wanted to tell you that this used a size US 8 needle. That's why it goes so quickly. And the Esmeralda also uses a size 8 needle. Now this top-down construction, simple raglan, except the raglan has just a garter ridge all the way down the arm, and down the side of the body. I have a picture of this on my Instagram. So if you're in, and I have put on Ravelry. So if you're interested in seeing that over there, it just was fun to do because, you know, I love a raglan, I guess. And I could make raglans all day. Top down raglan is my favorite sweater to wear and to knit, but this just added a little something special, and yeah, I love it. I made it a little more cropped than the pattern called for. That was my only modification, and used 2 yarns held together. The Onling number 10, this is the silk mohair, and then the Shetland wool. So you do have a little bit of rustic in this one, and you have a little bit of luxuriousness in this one. So together they made just a beautiful weight of a sweater. If you are sensitive to the rustic, you will be sensitive to this, just because this is just a rustic wool, but I am sensitive around my neck, and that is it. So the rest of my body, for some reason, does not respond to a rustic feel like my neck, but my neck is super sensitive. So I will wear a blouse or something under this, or a scarf, and I will be fine. I love the sleeves. They're not tight. They're, you know, I don't know. I love the sweater. So Katrine, thank you. You hit it out of the park again. She is an amazing designer and owns the yarn company Onling. And yeah, she is the mastermind behind it all. And I wanted to tell you too, that website, if you go on there, you should be able to find this hand cream. I've mentioned before, that I have eczema, and on and off my entire life, just on my hands, it's terrible, but I have used steroid creams my whole life, and she threw in one of this when I bought some yarn, and I tried it, and I had to get more because I haven't used my steroid creams since. And it is just all natural. It's called the Rich Rescue Cream. It's Serenity Now, and it is on their website. It's rosemary, horsetail, aloe vera, chamomile, shea butter, and olive oil. Organic, all natural. Now I feel like I can't go anywhere without this. This is always in my knitting bag. And look, I always want to put more on. It feels amazing. You can use it on your hands, face, feet, probably anywhere. It says for your damaged skin, anywhere on your body that needs a little something. So for those in your winter right now, Karen, I don't know if you can get it, but Katrine said a friend of hers was making this. So I'm sure it's just sold right now in Denmark, but hopefully if you can order from there, it's like a miracle cream to me. So I couldn't believe it. And it's been like, I don't know, 4 months since I've used my steroid cream, which is a huge deal. Okay, so that is all I have off of my needles. And don't think that I just whipped these off my needles, because I haven't been here for 2 months. So that's why I had so many sweaters to show you. But they are good ones. And color-wise, they're going to fit right into my wardrobe for the winter, and these for late fall. This for late fall. This now are late fall. Late summer. So anyhow, I cannot recommend those more. But like I said, on this, go ahead and look at Marilisa's, because she has a completely different viewpoint of this sweater. And everyone, I think, does have, some fails. And I think yarn makes a huge difference. And, I might have a fail in my knitting bag right now. We're going to see, but hopefully it will work out. Okay, that's off of my needles. Let's move on to on my needles. And since we're on the subject, so while we were out in the Pacific Northwest, we not only went into the breathtaking Bainbridge Island Lamb and Kid, if you ever have an opportunity to go in there, it is just, I told Sarah that her energy and the store, and I met Susan. It was just so nice to meet all of them, but all of the kids, they're called, but the store just has like this amazing energy inside, and Sarah is just so talented in her decor, and I mean, I've truly not seen a yarn shop like that. All those bright, yummy colors that, you know, I love to look at, but don't usually knit with. By the way, so many people have asked how I store my needles and my yarn, and I'm going to put a video, maybe I'll just tack it on to the end. But I have a whole yarn wall, of pink and green, and I love to look at the colors. I just don't like to wear them on my body. So anyhow, her store has all of those, plus all the neutrals that all of our neutral friends who would be satisfied with. And just her decor. I want to go in there and knit and all day. But anyhow, so I also went, while I was on Orcas Island, I went into Salish Yarns. Here's the little Salish Sea. Here's the little bag, and it's a coffee shop, a darling little yarn shop connected to a coffee shop. Also something that is just right at my alley. I'd be there once a week too, just getting my coffee, knitting away. Well, this caught my eye, this little label, and it is, you know, an alpaca farm that sells their yarn to Salish Sea Yarn Company. And I bought 3 skeins of a chocolate brown. That's all they had. But I just couldn't, it was just the yummiest. So they only had the 3, and I am down to the end. And I thought, you know, what am I gonna make? And immediately I thought of the Ranunculus, because these are 225 yards each. And so that's gonna give me 675 yards. And for my size, it's around 600 yards for the Ranunculus. Okay, but I don't know. I don't seem to be having enough yarn. So I put the body, so of course you guys have all seen the Ranunculus, and Marilisa has a video talking all about the Ranunculus too. Like, she goes into quite, you know, in depth to details about the sweater. So if you don't know the Ranunculus, and I know that a lot of people have made it, but there still are some that have not made it. I've only made it one time. Then you can head over to hers. Like I said, I'll link everything below, but you can watch her video on the Ranunculus as well. But it's a top down. It has this just gorgeous little yoke neckline. Was intended to be like necklaces, so you didn't have to do anything, you know, dress it up as much. You could just wear it like this. That's what's written in the description. And I love the detail of that. It's so pretty. These yarn overs, they'll be better when I block it. But yes, so anyhow, making the second size, I only have this. I had 1 skein left after I put my body. I knit 2 skeins, and then I decided to put the body of the sweater on the holders and right there, and then I would move to the sleeves. So I weighed the skein, and then it was 106 grams, and so then I knew I could knit, you know, 53 grams on each, hoping I would have some left for the body of the sweater. But once I got to 53, that was, I mean, I couldn't have gone shorter unless I went to the short sleeve. And yes, that is, yardage is for the long sleeve Ranunculus, because there is also a short sleeve version. So anyhow, I started to do some decreases to think I could, you know, save a few stitches of yarn. and I knit to 53 grams. That's 53 grams. Now I am repeating it on this same side, so I should be able to get, you know, exactly there. And then, I don't know if this is gonna be cropped, but it feels a little drapey, so it might be fine. Stay tuned on that. But I think what I'm gonna do now, because now I have to add some ribs, so I'm gonna rip back maybe 1.5 inches and just do the rib. Hopefully it won't be too cropped sweater. I looked on their website, they didn't have any of this yarn left, and I think it's just a natural where I wouldn't need to, you know, match a dye lot, where I could order some. I also did call Orcas Moon Alpacas, but they don't answer. I called the store, they don't have they haven't answered or called me back, but it's okay, I'm sure they will. But anyhow, yes, I'm gonna try to not buy the extra because I won't need that much of it. And like I said, they didn't even have any on their website, so maybe they are completely out. And I bought the last 3 that were there. But how yummy is this color? It's a natural alpaca, I believe. And I just can't wait. So I'm gonna finish the sleeve hopefully tonight. My children are all home. Have I mentioned that, or have you seen on Instagram? But I have Libby at home looking for a job. She's home from Spain. She wished she had another year there. She's pretty much devastated that she had to come home. She just wasn't ready to come home, and I get that. I mean, it's pretty amazing and such a great experience. And she was, you know, working on her Spanish and all of that. But she is home and looking for a job, but she's making dinner tonight. So I'm gonna sit and knit while she's making dinner. She told us she'd make dinner once a week. I love that perk. So, and then the boys, my oldest son is home. He is going to graduate school and he is living with my youngest son. So I have my 2 boys in an apartment, which makes me very happy. And then Libby is here. All of my kids will be home for a while anyhow. So I'll take it. I'll take whatever bit I can get of them being home. So hopefully you can see this on Instagram soon. I'm hoping the length will be okay. It's also wider than my white one, a lot wider. I know the white one I did, I don't know. I accidentally used, this is on a US 10 needle, and I accidentally used a 9, but it wouldn't have made that much difference. But like you said, the Ranunculus, you can use any weight yarn as well, which is also another beautiful thing. All right, and I have it in this yummy. Yeah, I love this brown gray combination. I've showed this bag before from Raenworks. But yeah, I've been carrying this just everywhere I go these days. Getting a few stitches in whenever I can, because I'm trying to step out from the decorating of my son's apartment. It's kind of hard. I'm like, no, you should put this here. Then I'm like, no, don't say that. So I'm trying really hard to just be like, this looks great, because it does. They're doing a great job. Okay, so I was also over on the North Fork of Long Island this summer at my sister's house, and she lives up in Orient there, and she wanted she didn't ask for it. I told her she needed one, and a friend, and she could not love it more. I was so happy. So I brought 2 colors for her. I did cast on for the other one, but I took it off the needles because I wanted to start something else. But I made her one in sea glass, which is this color. And I'll pop it on the screen here. I love it. She's going to use it for her yoga practice, her meditation practice in her yoga studio, I mean to say. So that would be great. And then I just cast on for another one, and I went up a size. So for my sister, the sizes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 9 or 8 maybe, but there are 9 sizes, so up to 8. And I made my sister the 1, and then and she's pretty tiny, so the 0, if you're getting engaged, is for somebody very petite, and then the 1 I would say is an extra small, so maybe the 0 is an extra small. I usually make myself the small, but I don't have them listed that way, but I think that's kind of how they equate. And then this one would be a medium with 3 skeins, so then it goes up to 3 skeins on the next size. And we went to the movies, and I, during Mission Impossible, was able to knit this. So I cast on and knit this. If you haven't made a friend to friend, they are very quick, very easy. I was looking at the Ravelry projects and so many cute ones. Somebody made it in a day. I know Marilisa made one in a day. She did some really great, would that be called top stitching, Marilisa? Where she just threaded some embroidery floss through it, or was it yarn? But it is so cute. I definitely want to make one. I have a lot to make for people, so I won't make one for myself for a while. I have 2 navy and a black in the queue for friends after this. So and it takes, the Hue Me Yarn, it was on sale over the 4th of July, I believe. And by the way, I just looked up the Best Friend butterfly blanket yarn. That's using the Big Twist value, and that is on sale for $2.99 right now. And that blanket takes 2, so that's a very good price if you're interested in making the Best Friend butterfly blanket, which is here too. So anyhow, yes, those are the only 2 things I have on my needles right now. I am probably going to make that in and out pullover with the stripes. By the way, you guys, because I have this yarn wall, I saw a moth. So now I am trying to really protect all of my yarn. I don't know. I thought we had a few years ago, and I thought we got rid of them, but no, I think they're back. I don't know anything about them and their season when they lay. I don't know. They just kind of, I can't even think about them. So anyhow, the fact that they like the yarn too, I was like, yeah, we have something in common, but that's my yarn. So anyhow, if you have any tricks other than just putting it all in bags and in the freezer, that's what I've been doing now. I put it immediately in the freezer, and then I keep it in the bags, or if I don't put it in a bag, just in whatever it came in, then I put it into a Ziploc bag, because we cannot have those moths eating our yarn. So anyhow, yeah, that's pretty much it. I did go to Bozeman and drove back with my son Charlie for him to come back home to go to graduate school, and did not get back to Sticks. But if you are ever in Bozeman, that is also just a really, really amazing yarn store. Such a selection, and I love that she has sewing in there too. Beautiful fabrics. So anyhow, I love yarn stores. But the Bainbridge Island, really a good one. So anyhow, I don't think I have anything else to mention. I hope this isn't too long. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have so much to talk about since I have so many, but I'm not gonna let that much time go by again. And I hope to be back in a couple of weeks, maybe even before August 1st, and show you a couple more finished objects. So until next time, I hope you're working on something you absolutely adore, And I hope you're staying cool or warm wherever you are. And until next time, take care of yourself. Okay, bye. So many of you have asked how I store my needles, and this is how. So this is my office wall, and I bought these, they're dish plate racks holders for, like, I guess in your cabinet, you can put them in there, stand up your dishes. So I bought them at Home Goods a few years ago, and I change out this wall. And so that's my colorful yarn that I do own, some colorful yarn. And I love to look at it. This is my summer wall. I do change it out for the seasons for different colors. And I hang my needles, my circulars, just on the bottom of those. So as you can see, and I made these little, with the label maker, just little numbers so I know where they are. And I feel so much more organized. I used to store my needles in the plastic sleeves that were like a book that you could flip open. And yeah, this, I love it. I love having them right there, and I just feel so much more organized like that. So anyhow, that's how I store my needles. All right, if you guys have any other fun ways you store yours, please let us know.